Hi, I'm Coach Corey Wayne, and this is my video coaching newsletter. And the topic of today's newsletter is going to be how to cultivate masculine energy or your masculine essence. So I've got an email here from a guy. He's new to my work. He says he just finished 3% Man. He's been through it once. He says he wished he would have read it after a recent date. I assume it didn't go well or didn't end well. But he says, nevertheless, he wants to know what he can do because he wants to focus on himself and his life and become a better version of himself. And so he asks, how do I cultivate my masculine essence? So I got a quote that I wrote, and then we'll go through his email. And the quote says, masculine energy is about purpose, drive, mission, succeeding, accomplishing, overcoming challenges, and breaking through barriers. As Dale Carnegie said, inaction breeds fear and doubt. Taking action breeds confidence and courage. Life takes on meaning and purpose when you have goals, dreams, and projects you have a fire in your belly to accomplish. Lose yourself in the process of accomplishing your grandest goals and dreams. This will make your life exciting and fill you with enthusiasm that others will notice and that will attract like-minded people into your life to help and co-create with you. So he says, hello, Coach Corey. I want to thank you for your first book, 3% Man. I just finished my first round of it and plan to read it not just 15 times, but aim to go for 20 times and more. Well, people who succeed at the highest level always go above and beyond. They're willing to do things that most people simply are unwilling to do. So when I say read the book 10 to 15 times, when you look at over the years all the best success stories that I've done from viewer emails, these guys are always 15, 20, 30 times or more. They really immerse themselves in the work and applying it. Because you can read my book 100 times, but if you don't apply it and get out there and get experiences with it, it's just a mental concept. And repetition is the mother of skill. As Aristotle said, excellence is not a singular act. It's a habit. You are what you do repeatedly. He says, it's helped me with dating, and I will humbly admit I should have read it more than once before one date. Yet I do feel somewhat confident since there's more fish in the sea. Well, as they say, pride cometh before the fall. And that's the thing about life is the older you get, and then especially when things are going really well and you're on easy street, that's when life comes along and smacks you upside the head totally unexpectedly. Something goes sideways, or, I mean, you just look at what's happened in the last 2 years. Who could have imagined that the whole world would lock down for a virus? Did anybody see that coming? I didn't. I didn't think anything like that would ever happen. But, I mean, look how disruptive it's been to society and businesses and families for that matter. It's like you got half the society wants to run around telling everybody, put their masks on, do this, do that, comply, or else the government should crush you. And unfortunately, millions and millions of people got crushed. They had their lifelong, sometimes people had generational businesses that were totally destroyed. I mean, how is it fair that the government says, well, your business is not essential, but that big box retailer, they're essential because they sell food and they can stay in business while your little boutique shop, no, you're not allowed to open. But you still got to pay your rent on time, but you can't open your doors. Really, really great genius strategy that the politicians thought out. You can also look at that. A lot of people are like, man, that sure seems like it was done on purpose. Like they really crushed the middle class. They crushed a lot of business owners. How do you get through that? Or you look at something like what happened in 2007, 2008. Everybody's enjoying a boom in real estate. The previous 5, 6, 7, 8 years before that, I know we did. And then the Fed pulls back too hard on the reins, slows the economy, and they just create a domino effect. And it took us a decade to recover from that. I remember when the lockdown started, it's like, man, business was it was going great. Then when I look at the international business, especially what happened with Australia, New Zealand, it's like I mean, they were like imprisoned in their homes. It's many of those areas of cities, they weren't allowed to travel outside the city. I mean, it's just crazy what they did. And so you stop global human interaction in a lot of countries in the West, that's going to obviously affect a business like mine where people have to meet and interact for things to happen, for good things to happen, and also for problems to come up. So they end up seeking out work like mine. But fortunately, obviously, I was able to work. I work from home. I have a home office, and I was able to adapt. And this is what happens in life. The older you get, the more you see the ups and downs. You have stock market crashes. I remember when I was in high school, 1987, when the stock market crashed. My parents had a lot of money in the market, and they got absolutely crushed financially. See my parents go through that, and what my dad and mom did this several years after that to try to recover took several years. And so you go through life and you get burned by things like that, and it teaches you to be a little more humble and also to not be flying by the seat of your pants and have reserves in case something crashes. And what's interesting is 64% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. So you can imagine when something really dramatic happens in the economy, or like now we got the potential war going on with Russia and the Ukraine thing. There's always something going on in life. It's like no matter what you do, no matter how great life is going, shit comes out of left field like that, and you got to adapt to it. And nobody cares about your problems or my problems, and they're glad we have them. And you got to learn to adapt and get better, and hopefully have more reserves next time around, or have flexibility. And that's just the way it is. So he says, I wanted to ask you, though, on a different subject. For now, I've decided to focus on my life and become a better me. As I was reading your book, 3% Man, you talked at different points about masculine energy and essence. And what I want to ask is how can any guy cultivate or build our masculine energy and essence? Well, one of my favorite quotes by Dale Carnegie, as I mentioned in the beginning, the quote that I read, you guys, is that inaction breeds fear and doubt. Taking action breeds confidence and courage. And so if things are going sideways in your life and you're just sitting around doing nothing, nothing's happening. You're not making any progress, because success is making progress in life. You got to feel like there's some kind of incremental success, like you're making progress. You got a goal, you got a dream, something that's going to take many years or even decades to accomplish. You want to feel like you're moving in that direction, that general direction. And even though it might be millimeter by millimeter or inch by inch, you could see there is some progress. It might not be significant progress or big progress, but it's small incremental progress, small incremental changes. And so when you're applying a book like mine, it's like reading it, but going out and just observing people, sitting down and watching people interact, watching human beings interact. And you start to see the patterns that I talk about in the book. Something simple like that. You're out, you're amongst your fellow human beings, and you're watching men and women interact. And then you're seeing the patterns that I talk about in the book. And just seeing that in real life build your confidence just a little bit more. Going up, and if you've always been a shy person, striking up conversations, practicing your small talk, doing something to get a little bit better. Asking over the course of a week or two 10 different women out, or asking 10 different women for their phone numbers, or just striking up conversations with 10 different women. Or if you're looking for a job, calling 10 different employers and talking to them, sending your resume in, and then following up after you've sent that resume in to make sure they've received it. Doing some kind of action and something that's productive, not something that's just busy. I mean, you can sit and play video games and watch TV all day, and you'll be busy. You won't be very productive. It's not going to do anything to move your life forward. The key is to do things that you feel like are going to help move your life in the right direction. And so when you lose yourself being busy, being productive, you don't have time to be fearful or to worry about what may or may not be going right in your life. So that's the important thing, is to get busy being productive. Remember, you got to know what you want, then you got to know why you want it. You got to have an emotionally compelling reason why you want it. It's because the why has to be strong enough to keep moving you forward, even when things go sideways, even when society locks down for 2 years, or when the central bankers make a mistake and they screw the economy up because they raise rates too fast or they pull back too hard. I mean, at the end of the day, the older you get, the more you go through things like this, and each time you get a little better at coming through it, and then you start to kind of expect it. It's like I didn't see this lockdown thing coming, but because I've been through a lot of difficulty in my life, and obviously I wrote about that in Mastering Yourself, which you can also read that for free, for inspiration at understandingrelationships.com. It's like you learn, and you kind of been through things, and so you know how to cut back, you know how to make changes in your life to adapt. And that's part of being a man, is being able to adapt, improvise, overcome, compensate, find a way, not a way out, because it's easy to quit. It's easy to give up. It's easy to settle in every area of your life. Most people do it. And we're surrounded by people that are mediocre. They're living lives of quiet desperation, and they're not doing the things that they could be doing to help themselves. So it's finding a way every day when you get up, be excited about your life, be excited about the projects that you're working on, be excited about your goals, be excited about your mission, your purpose in life, the things you want to accomplish, because success is making progress. And as you make slow incremental progress, maybe you have a lot of little things that you're working on in your life. Maybe you're working on getting in better shape. Maybe you're working on getting a better peer group. Maybe you're working on improving the quality of the women that you're meeting and dating. Maybe you're just improving your skills. Maybe you're trying to grow your business. Maybe you're trying to get through college. Maybe you're trying to get your business to the point where you can sell it and retire or go do something else. The point being is that as a man, cultivating masculine energy, it's doing what men do. Purpose, drive, mission, succeeding, accomplishing, breaking through barriers, overcoming challenges. And so it doesn't matter whether you're an entrepreneur or you're a professional athlete. You have a process that you have to go through on a daily basis. Like the professional athlete, on a weekly basis, they're preparing for their next opponent to highlight their strengths against the other team's weaknesses. And so when you get together on the field of competition and you compete, you've gone through the progression. You've gone through the process of preparing yourself. And then on game day, everything's done. And then it's just a matter of executing on your plan. Or if it's a business, it's a matter of executing your business plan successfully. So it's like when you lose yourself in the process of busting your ass and doing the little things day in and day out, and it's like always when you go to bed at night, you want to go to bed with peace of mind that you did everything you could do. And so throughout the day, every day, 365 days a year, decade after decade, you should always be asking yourself, what do I have to get done today? When I go to sleep tonight, what are the most important things that I need to get done so when I lay my head on my pillow at night, I have peace of mind that I did everything I could. I was as productive as I could be. And we've all had this experience when we lose ourselves in the process of achieving our grandest goals and dreams for the day. We're busy, we're productive, and we feel like we got a lot done. And then when we go to sleep at night, we feel like we did everything we could. Tomorrow's a new day to get up and do it all over again. So lose yourself in the process of doing the things you love and enjoy. Try to get better. You want to learn from your mistakes. If something's not working in your life, you have to notice that it's not working. And when something's not working, then you got to try something else. And if that doesn't work, guess what? You try something else. And what if that new thing you tried doesn't work? You try something else. You got to kind of think of yourself as like Thomas Edison trying to invent the light bulb. You don't know what you don't know. But through process of elimination, through your attempts and your permutations and learning from your mistakes, eventually you refine your approach enough to where you get better. And that's what I wrote about in Mastering Yourself, is all those little things I've learned along the way in life. It's like I'm 52 now, and I've been doing these things since I was a kid, day in and day out, week after week, month after month, year after year. Obviously, when I was young and inexperienced, I wasn't very efficient at the things that I've done. And now, being 52, having done a lot, had a lot of careers, had a lot of businesses, interacted with lots of clients, lots of other human beings, had lots of different relationships over the course of my life, lived in a bunch of different cities, traveled all around the world, done different kinds of investments, and continue to invest. It's like you kind of get a feel for what works and what doesn't work. And learning from other people that are more successful than you is extremely important, because when you model the success of other people and what they do successfully, you gain the knowledge. It's like you gain what they struggled for easily just by reading their works or learning from them or working from them or having them mentor you, because it reduces the amount of time you have to spend yourself learning these things. It's like, for me, I put all this stuff down in writing, stuff that took me decades to acquire. That's why I love seeing emails from guys that are in high school or in college, or they're really young, or they're in their 20s, and they're learning all this stuff that took me decades to figure out when they're very young. And so they start out in life in a lot better place than I did. And so therefore their lives should be more efficient. They should get to the successes and the things that took me decades to get a lot quicker. And therefore they can climb even bigger mountains than I was able to climb. And then therefore that helps me achieve my purpose, and my mission in life is to see other people learning from me and doing better, getting better results quicker than I got. So if you got a question or a challenge and you would like to get my help, go to understandingrelationships.com, click the products tab at the top of your screen, and book a coaching session with yours truly. Until next time, I will talk to you soon.